Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of That Sounds Fun. I'm your host, Annie F. Downs. I'm really happy to be here with you today. We have got a great show in store. And before we dive into today's conversation, I want to share about one of our amazing partners, AG1 by Athletic Greens. As we're heading into spring, it seems like everyone I know has got a lot on their calendars and a lot on their plates. Same, y'all. Which means we've got to be sure we're keeping up the habits that help us feel our best. That's one of the great things about Athletic Greens. They make it so easy to fit into your lifestyle as a simple daily habit. One scoop of AG1 powder mixed into cold water every morning helps us to cover our nutritional basis. It's seriously the healthiest thing you can do in under a minute. Whether you're like me and want to be sure you're getting good immune support or looking to improve your gut health, you can trust that you're getting what you need because AG1 is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients of the highest quality. They provide major benefits like gut and mood support, boosted energy, and even healthier looking skin, hair, and nails. Okay. It can be hard to know where to start with supplements and who to trust on what our bodies can actually absorb or what's missing from the typical diet these days. But AG1 makes that so much easier. Thank you very much. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/soundsfun. That's athleticgreens.com/soundsfun. Check it out. Today on the show, I get to talk with my friend Paula Faris. You may remember Paula from episode 231 and from our TSF Live show in Greenville, South Carolina last February. But if not, be sure to go back and catch those. Paula is the founder and leader of Carry Media, an organization that champions, advocates, and celebrates working moms through content, resources, and storytelling. She's also a best-selling author and an Emmy-Award winning journalist, having worked on ABC News as a co-anchor of Good Morning America Weekend and on The View. Her latest book, You Don't Have to Carry It All, Ditch the Mom Guilt and Find a Better Way Forward, is going to be so empowering and encouraging for so many of you and the amazing moms in your life. This book is insightful, and Paula gives practical steps for better working, momming, and living, and I cannot wait for y'all to hear her heart about this. And I think the good thing, one of the things you're going to love about this conversation is whether you are a mom or not, we talk about our roles in this, whether you're single, whether you're married without kids, whether you're a mom or a grandmother or a dude in this story. We talk about all of it. So if you're not a mom, that's okay. Me neither, but this is a great conversation. So here it is, my conversation with Paula Faris. Paula Faris, welcome back to That Sounds Fun.
This is going to be so fun.
This
is going to be funner.
Yeah.
Funner than the most fun.
Yeah. Oh, that's my plan. I expect it to be the most fun. We both are very actively sitting up straight because we are taking care of our voices.
Our vocal cords. I actually removed mine and massaged them before the interview.
Okay, tell me what's happening.
Fingers.
Tell me what's happening with your voice. I mean, you've been on TV. You did Good Morning America for years. How is your voice going out on you?
I have no idea. I think, honestly, it has something to do with my allergies, but I have lost my voice. It sounds like I smoked 3 packs of cigarettes today, right? Already. But I've lost my voice about 4 times in the last year alone. Now, when I was at the height of my career, I would lose it just about every February, March because of laryngitis and bronchitis. But this is the 4th time that it's happened. And I don't know, it's got to be allergies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm on like 7 different medications right now. So hopefully something will
We're going to keep talking
work.
about our voices, but I just want to stop you on when I was at the height of my career.
Oh, true. You know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's reframe that.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling me out on that. I need to be called out on that.
Yeah. I'm like, that. I don't even think either of us have hit the height of our career yet. I hope.
That's true. You know what? Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah.
Thank you,
maybe
friend.
At the height of your time on national television in the past.
There we go. I like that. Thank you for the context. In the past.
Because it may happen again. I don't know.
At the height of my career between the years 2011 and 2019.
That's right.
How about that?
Right. That's good. That's good. Also, I think New York makes people lose their voice more too because you are walking in the cold. You're just out in the cold more than like me.
You don't think breathing all that clean New York City air is going to calm the lungs?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening now is you've been away from that air long enough that your lungs are like, no, I need the good stuff. Give me back the good stuff, Paula.
Well, we're about to get snowed on via pollen down here in the South.
Yeah, right.
It's like a whole nother level.
Remind me how many winters you've done now. Is this your 3rd year in the South?
Wait.
2020, right?
Yes, it'll be my 3rd. Yeah.
Yeah. So you know by now your car,
gosh.
do not take it to a car wash between end of February, middle April. Just don't do it.
it's like a blanket of snow.
Truly.
Growing up in Michigan, we would always write on the windshield with the snow. Last year, I did that on all of my furniture, outdoor furniture.
Yeah.
I wrote through the pollen.
Yes.
I was like, wash me, help, because it was so thick.
I know. Being on your car is annoying. Being on your outside furniture when it's finally warm enough that we could sit out there and there's like a powder across everything.
A plume.
An absolute, it is disgusting.
I know.
I don't understand it. It's one of the science things I'm going to ask the Lord about is like, why so much? I understand we need honey and bees and et cetera, but why so much?
Oh, I'm going to ask about mosquitoes. Why mosquitoes?
Why mosquito? How did they survive the flood? Can't understand.
How in the world? I know that fish love mosquitoes, but they eat everything else.
Yeah. I just have to know, is there an animal that Noah turned away? Is there something we don't know? That he was like, those are disgusting. You cannot come on here.
What about like airborne, like insects, birds, like insects?
Did they have bugs all over the place? I mean, maybe.
What about termites? Termites would have like eaten away the wood on the ark.
What about lice? Did lice survive because a man lice and a woman lice fell in love on the and got married on the ark, and now we have lice? It is disgusting. Okay, so
oh my gosh,
this is us, dear everyone. This is Paula and I's real life friendship. This is what we are like in our group of friends. This is me and Paula. Paula, we hung out with some friends a couple of months ago, and you fell asleep at the dinner table. Can we talk about it?
I don't remember it because I fell asleep, but you guys documented it.
It made me so happy. We were all so relaxed together. It was the best. It was just the best.
When our host told us that we can essentially wear bathrobes and pajamas to dinner, that was the happiest day of my life.
It was so great. Now, you weren't having voice stuff back then, were you? A couple of months ago when we were together, I don't remember you talking about it.
No, it wasn't that bad, but I had a couple of episodes over the summer. They were pretty bad. And then I had, over this last spring too. But yeah, I fell asleep. I was so relaxed around you guys. I fell asleep at the dinner table. I'm like, do I have narcolepsy or am I just like that tired? I feel like I fall asleep every single night that my husband and I watch a show. Yeah. Every night. And so I'm like, can we go back and rewatch it? I'm awake for the beginning and I'm awake for the end, but I have no idea what happened in the middle.
Those middle details. What are y'all watching right now?
The Offer. My husband and I watched that and loved it. It's about the real life making of the movie The Godfather, how it almost didn't happen because the mob, Frank Sinatra, didn't want it to happen. It's so fast. It's almost like it's historical. It's based on a true story.
Wait, Frank Sinatra?
Yes, Frank Sinatra.
Is he?
Because he was Italian.
The Godfather. What? I mean, I know he's Italian, but like he's like, I knew
he was all part of it.
Yeah, whole crew, that Rat Pack crew.
Yes.
I was just listening to a Frank Sinatra song yesterday. In a very weird turn of events, I felt like the Lord reminded me of a lyric. So I went and listened to a Frank Sinatra song. And in my moment, I thought, this is so weird, Paula, but this is what I did. I thought, how different were their lives in the like 50s and 40s, 50s, 60s? What was sin like? And what was evil like? Now we think of evil as human trafficking and nuclear warheads and like the bad guys have like tons of drugs and guns is kind of what you picture in 2023. And so in my car, I thought, what was that version in the 60s or the 50s? Same?
I love that you went there. No,
I think so weird, I know.
Well, I just think we have more access to everything. So, I mean, but yeah, adultery, infidelity, mobsters. I did not see that coming, by the way. Yeah. Money laundering for sure. I didn't see you and the mob and mafia movies.
Yeah.
At
all.
That's one
where
thing I didn't
people
know.
are included.
Okay, you got to watch
when there's
The Offer.
a club you can join. So I also love anything about secret societies. I love anything. It's one of the reasons I like Yellowstone, even though I think it's gratuitous in a lot of ways, is it is like once you're branded, you're in.
Yeah, I see that too.
It's why I like The Chosen.
Were you? Jesus. I love The Chosen.
Makes us all feel welcome.
He does. Were you in a sorority, speaking of?
No, when I went to Georgia, I didn't do it. I didn't do a sorority. I should have. I would have really thrived in a secret society kind of it.
That would have been fun for you.
Has a secret society for women. There's of course secret societies for men that have been forever old. That how everybody gets jobs and places at Georgia,
right?
But there's one for women too. And I've seriously thought, can I call now?
Is there an alumni?
Association? Y'all didn't tap me in when I was in college, but 20 years later, are you interested?
You know But wait a second, you're onto something. You are onto
Thank
something.
you.
The post-college day sorority. Like, we need to be able to join
To do a rush
once we
again,
graduated. Yes.
where we sing songs and show outfits on the internet. Okay.
Or something.
We'll
I don't
start
know,
it.
but
What's it gonna be?
that'd be really fun.
What are we going to call it? Which Greek letters do we want to use?
I don't know.
I don't either. We'll think.
Think
Dear
about that
everyone
one.
listening,
Wait,
tell us what to
what-
name our sorority, and everyone can be in. Everyone can be in.
Wait, what is the T, S, and F? Theta?
Theta. What is the S?
I don't know.
And the F?
Sigma.
I don't know.
Theta, Sigma, Phi. But
Phi,
that's the P.
Theta, Sigma, Phi. You're right. I think that is the P, isn't it?
It's all good.
Here, it's fine. We have a Craig. We have a fact checker. Craig, can you search for us while we continue talking what the F is in Greek?
Yes.
Everyone listening is screaming it at us. You know they are.
They're
Just
like,
be
you
patient, everyone.
moron.
Real life, everybody. Listen, I got yelled at so hard the other day because I was talking about calendars and starting and how people start winter in December, January, February, and then spring, March, April, May. And I had no one had ever told me that. I thought we started January, February, March. And I got yelled at. They were like, Annie, everyone knows that you can change the seasons to match March, April, May can be spring. I got yelled at so much. So we're getting yelled at right now.
I don't know if I really knew that either. Here's the thing. If you live in a cold weather climate, you have like 2 seasons. You have hot and cold.
Right.
So it does that, like spring and
It's just the
autumn and
length
fall
of
don't
them.
really mean much to us.
Yeah. Michigan is like, we're either at the lake or we're inside.
We're either sweating or freezing. One or the other.
Sharon McMahon was on the podcast the other day and she ranked her favorite Great Lakes. Do you have a ranking?
Lake Michigan.
Oh, top, clearly to you.
Top.
Yeah.
Hello. I mean, we had no money growing up. And so we camped at all the state parks along Lake Michigan. So
wow.
I have so many fond memories camping at the state parks along the coast of and the shores of Lake Michigan.
Okay. Do the others rank at all to you? You don't have a second favorite?
No, I don't even know that the others exist.
Yeah. She said Lake Huron is her second favorite.
Huron? You know how you remember what they
fell in
are?
it. Yeah.
Homes. Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, Superior. Homes.
Is that how they're shaped up there too? Can you trace it like that or no?
I
They don't
know.
go left to right like that, no.
I don't know.
Craig has his hand up. Yes, Craig?
Oh, yes. Do we have an answer?
There is no letter.
There is no letter F in the Greek, so we're gonna have to be Theta Sigma Phi, and just make it make it phonetic.
Can we get T-shirts, please?
Oh, duh. Dear everyone, someone design us grown-up sorority T-shirts, and everyone can get in, but not
Yes.
everyone, but everyone. Every female
don't have to rush.
and guys. Yeah, we don't have to rush. You're in if you want to be in, and if
Yeah,
it makes
totally.
you feel better that someone is out, tell yourself someone's out. But everybody's in. Everybody's in. We aren't the Lord. This isn't heaven.
I love that we had a fact checker.
I know, of
That's
course.
so
He's our
good.
own, like Monica to my Dax.
Oh my gosh, it's
okay,
so good.
Paula, what is going on in your life this week? It's insane. It's a book launch week.
It is. Well, yeah, the book
Your
comes
second
out.
book.
Yes, I know the first book. It came out like literally the week the world shut down from
Will you
the
talk about
pandemic.
that for a minute? I think that is
Yes.
what even made you say yes to doing it again.
I really don't know
I
because
know.
like now that you're in the thick of it, like you write a book because there's a message on your heart. Like God placed this message on my heart. And then you get caught up in the comparison and the rankings and like it takes so much of the joy out of it.
Yeah.
Like of course I want the book to be successful and the book to get in the hands of so many people and change lives, but it's not going to do that unless you sell copies. You know what I mean? So it takes so much of the joy out of it. But yeah, that was a really disappointing. That's one of the questions I'm going to ask God too is like, why did you have me put myself out there? And at a time where you knew that the book was going to come out literally when the world shut down and nobody could even get it.
Yes.
So it's honestly one of the greatest disappointments that I've had. And look, it turned out to still be, I guess, a best-selling book on certain,
It's a wonderful
on certain
book,
standards.
too.
And I'm very proud of it. And I have to continually remind myself that my success isn't measured according to man's standards. It's according to God. So maybe the book, I know the book has really connected to people and connected with them and it has changed lives.
Yes.
And I have to remind myself of that. So it's not the quantity, it's the quality. And even if God had me write it for one person, right?
Yes.
But it's hard to get over when so much of your success in the publishing world is contingent upon the number of copies sold because you want to continually speak into people and encourage them and have the opportunity to put your message out there, but you're not going to if the book's not successful.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-edged sword. But yeah, I'm in the midst of getting ready to launch my second book, You Don't Have to Carry It All, Ditch the Mom Guilt and Find a Better Way Forward. And really, I'm so passionate about this message, about showing how we can give working moms the support they need and deserve. And I really believe, I founded Carry Media about a year ago to help carry women, mothers through these important moments, carry one another's burdens. But I think, Annie, so many of the issues we face as a society are in direct result to how we don't value family, whatever your family looks like in this country, and how we devalue women and mothers in the workforce. So there's so much going against us. Women make less. We're passed over on promotions. Even though we're better leaders, more employees would rather work for female-led companies. And then moms, we have the mom penalty and the mom gap. And we're deemed a risk and a liability when in fact, we've grown in so many core capabilities. And the reality is we can't not all of us have the opportunity to stay home. I mean, and guess what? Some of us have ambitions outside of the home too. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those are God-given.
Yeah, that's hard though, Paula, because there are friends of ours listening who say, no, women aren't supposed to be outside the home. This is the full-time thing.
Girlfriend.
That we're supposed to, that God has asked us to stay home and raise our, and now I think God has asked some people to do that, but I also know there are people who believe that any of us that are working outside of homes as women are outside of God's best for us.
Okay, and that's a lot of the tension that I carried my entire life as a working mother, because I was raised by a stay-at-home mother.
Oh, wow.
And we had no money, okay, but my mom chose to stay home. A lot of it was she just didn't have the opportunity to go to college. Her mom didn't even graduate high school. So, but this was a lot of the tension. Doesn't a good godly woman or a good godly mother stay home and raise her children as if a working mother can't raise her child? The reality is this: 70% of mothers are going to be the primary breadwinner for their families at some point. It's just not realistic.
What?
This isn't the
70% of mothers at some point will be the primary breadwinner?
Yes. And if we continue to make 70 cents on the dollar compared to fathers, you'll see how that cycle of poverty will continue. So that's why I'm so many of the issues are dated back, traced back to how mothers are treated in the workforce. And so let's explore this tension a little bit. I write a pretty disruptive, feather ruffling, get your panties in a wad chapter.
You really did.
Okay.
Yeah, you really did it.
But I live best on the on the edges. Okay. I like to push the envelope.
I mean, you were a host of The View. You've got to be happy to fight if you're going to be a host of The View.
But I'm like that contradiction. I like to challenge, but I also like to come to a conclusion and respectfully disagree and come to some sort of peace at the end.
Yes.
But I explored that tension of working outside of the home. And so I interviewed Lisa Turkhurst from Proverbs 31 Ministries.
Yeah.
I interviewed her head of theology, Joel Muddamalle, to figure out what the Bible really says about women, mothers, and our roles in society and at home.
Wow.
Because the messages I heard were stay home, get back in the kitchen where you belong, right? Know your place. And I carried so much of that tension. That was the most freeing chapter for me to write. It was the toughest because I do think that Scripture is weaponized against women. And I think often, and it saddens me, that Christianity is misogyny in disguise. Okay, I really, truly do. Sorry, I told you we were going to go there.
Spicy. I don't disagree with you at all.
Not all.
I just said that's
Christianity.
A strong sentence. Yeah.
Not all Christianity, but there are a lot of denominations or branches of Christianity where it's misogyny in disguise. I felt that. I think maybe some of your listeners have felt that. But here's the thing, what Joel Muddamalle, again, the director of theology at Proverbs 31, what he told me from the very beginning, Adam and Eve were made to co-labor and subdue the earth together. Okay. Wow. He was it wasn't like the man's going to go, provide and the woman stays home. We didn't have these. There wasn't this bifurcation back in the day. And you look at the Proverbs 31 woman, when you think of Proverbs 31 and the woman, you think, oh, she was a great housewife. No, she was a master negotiator. Yeah. She was a farmer. She was a skilled businesswoman. Society and her community depended on her and her stability. She bought a field. Read Proverbs 31 again through a different lens. She bought a field with her earnings from the marketplace.
Yeah.
So it's we've been disconnected from the ancient translations. You look, there's a myriad of different examples of women throughout the Bible. Deborah, who was a prophetess and a judge, and then Mary, who sat at Jesus's feet. Just think about how disruptive that was. Back in the day when women were third-rate citizens, Annie, okay?
And it says in the Gospels that the women are the ones who paid for Jesus and the disciples' lives. It was by their means.
Yes,
yes. Yeah.
Okay,
I
but
love that
imagine
part.
walking in and seeing Mary sitting at Jesus' feet, a student and a scholar. That was for students and scholars and the disciples.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have allowed that had he not want her to go on and become a scholar.
Yes.
Okay, so he's training her to be a scholar and then go on to possibly be a rabbi. Like there's so many illustrations, and I think we can take certain scriptures and absolutely weaponize them against women, right? But we also have to remember that it was a snapshot of what's going on culturally.
Yeah.
It was think about what's going on culturally. Women were third-rate citizens, and that's why it was so disruptive that Jesus went out of his way to make sure that women were actively involved in his ministry. And his ministry.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, very freeing chapter. And yes, I went there. It might ruffle some feathers, but that's
my
okay.
question, Paula, is, you wouldn't be on here if we weren't friends and if I didn't love this book. But I want to ask you this. How do we really well equip women with power and with understanding without tearing down men? How do we do that? How do we support? Because I love dudes. I want to live with one, right? Like I love them.
Yeah, exactly.
But how do we do? Because it's a systemic problem that we are all responding to.
Totally.
So how do we do this well?
I have an entire chapter that's dedicated to inviting men into the conversation. And I think the first step is recognizing that they're already coming into the conversation feeling less than and intimidated. And they're also dealing with their own set of constructs, a society and attitudes that have told them your only value is to make an earning. Your only value to this family is to bring home a paycheck.
Right.
So realizing they're already coming into the conversation with their own constructs and they're dealing with the patriarchy too. Yeah. I've said from the beginning, I never wanted Carrie, my company, to burn bras and bridges. We want to lock arms with everyone because this just can't be a working mom issue. This has to be a cultural issue. This has to be something. We need men by our side. I need you, Annie. I need my friends that are single without kids and my single moms. I need dads. We need everybody in this fight to lock arms. That's how you affect true change. And you don't do it by emasculating men.
Right.
You invite them into the conversation. I detail ways that, and I think the greatest thing that men can do in this fight, specifically fathers, is to take paternity leave, or if they don't have it, to fight for it. I think that's one of the things that could completely change the game for families in this country, change the game for working moms. Because what it does out of the gate, Annie, is it says we're a partnership and we're equal. The woman's not going to be the default for everything because we know she's the default everything. Check every single box. She's the default. Yep. It levels the playing field from the beginning. We know paternity leave increases bonds with children. Yeah. And it also helps the relationship with their partner and take a load off of her. So that's one thing I think men can do. But you're invited to the conversation. I understand that you feel less than and intimidated, and that's okay. We're going to have a conversation. And we also, as women, need to, when we invite them, we have to tell them about real life. Like they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah,
you know, when we,
that's right.
After I have a baby and I'm posting a photo, I've just bounced back like in my fully coiffed hair and makeup. Like I have to showcase what real life is actually like. I have to be vulnerable and put myself out there and be honest with what's going on instead of trying to sugarcoat it. So I think that goes a long way too.
Yeah, we across our 3 companies here, we have 4 moms, but no dads yet. Our 2 of our guys are married, but they're not dads yet. And so we've had these early conversations about maternity leave versus paternity leave, and how to make it empowering for both, for both families, because we want to support the wives of our male employees too.
Totally.
Right? We don't want to say they can come home for 8 days and then they need to be back with us.
Yeah. And Annie, and yes, this book is, it is really for mothers in the workplace, but it's also for women who want to have children. It's for fathers to know how they can help support, because at the end of the day, this is about supporting families in America. Yeah. Families are either the bedrock of this country or they're not, right? And how we treat and value families shows that really it's the indicator of the health of a nation. And children are either our greatest natural resource in the future or they're not. Yeah. So we've got to take care of families, especially families in the workplace, because mothers and fathers make up 70 to 80% of the labor force. Yes. And Annie, I bet for the moms on your staff, that they're not counting Cheerios in the corner. They're not a risk and a liability. They're not less dedicated.
No.
They're probably your most efficient employee.
They're very efficient.
They're very efficient. They're great at multitasking. They're good negotiators and leaders. Like motherhood increases so many of these skills, whether the baby grew in your heart or your tummy. Okay. Motherhood increases so many core capabilities. Parenthood's like a masterclass for leadership. So like start valuing us instead of scrutinizing us. Celebrate what we bring to the workforce, celebrate what we bring to society, and celebrate motherhood, because if we don't have kids, we don't have a society. So stop punishing us for it.
That sounds fun.
Hey friends, just interrupting this conversation real quick to share about one of our amazing partners, Indeed. Okay, can we talk about Lillian, our CAO, our Chief Annie Officer, for just a minute? We joke all the time that she doesn't have a to-do list. She has a to-done list because she anticipates and solves things so well. She is a vital part of our team and of this episode being served to you right now and of my sanity. And do you know how we got connected initially for her to interview for this role? You guessed it, Indeed. Well, I want you to find people whose incredible gifts and experiences match up perfectly with the needs your team has, just like Lillian does for us. You and your company can find them the same way we found several of our amazing teammates. If you're hiring, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend your valuable hours digging through multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all and fast with Indeed. Finding great talent doesn't have to be a second job. I mean, you already have a full-time job, right? Me too. You can reclaim your time and find top talent fast with Indeed. Their suite of powerful hiring tools like assessments and virtual interviews allow you to find top talent fast. This is the part I love the most. With Indeed Instant Match, they do the hard work for you. You simply sponsor a job and boom, Instant Match shows you candidates whose resumes fit your job description immediately after you post. Indeed knows hiring needs to be cost and time effective when you're running your own business, which you are. I am too. Visit Indeed.com/soundsfun to start hiring today. Go to Indeed.com/soundsfun. Indeed.com/soundsfun. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. And now back to our conversation with Paula.
That sounds fun.
Well, I'll tell you, even for me, I have to be thoughtful of it, because if I'm telling you the whole truth, Paula, like if we weren't recording.
Tell me the whole truth, yes.
The whole truth is I don't like anything that slows down what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I don't like if I'm sick. I don't like if someone is, well, I'll just say the whole, I don't like if someone's on vacation because it means it slows us down. And I don't like if someone is out because their kids are sick because it slows us down.
Yep.
So that's allowed to be my first response is, oh man, that's annoying because we need to get through that thing.
Yep.
My corrected gospel response is, I love working with people who care about their families. I want my staff to have a balanced life where they take vacations and where they leave early to pick up their kids after a performance or go to the performance. And I'm allowed to be sick too. So my first response doesn't have to be my last response. Does that make me the worst monster though to say that? Should we cut that?
I am so grateful you put that out there, because I really think it's like the elephant in the room.
It's
and
why,
they're like,
what
why
I
is
learned
it?
from your book is like, I got to hear your perspective that I didn't have.
Right. But also like, why should I kowtow to families? Well, here's the reality. Like supporting families isn't just good. It's not just the right thing to do. It's actually good for your company and the bottom line, because one of the greatest costs of doing business is turnover and retention. You take care of families and you make them feel valued through your policies, whatever those are, and feel like they can show up as a parent first. They're not going to leave. They're going to be extremely loyal. They're very productive. And those policies that are good for the parents are also going to be good for the 25-year-old single girl on your staff that wants to go rock climbing or whatever she wants to do in Nashville.
And I want her to. I want her to do it as my second response.
And Annie, as business owners, you and I, entrepreneurs, would you say entrepreneur or entrepreneur? I can't stand it when people say entrepreneur.
You can say anything except girl boss.
Okay, not a girl boss. But as entrepreneurs and people who hire employees, we have to be mindful of this. If we aren't listening to employees and what they want, we're going to face deficits, hiring deficits, recruiting deficits soon and very soon. Yes. Because employees, I'm not saying moms and dads, employees in general, 95% want flex schedules. 75% want hybrid locations. It's like, can we commit to measuring the measurables? We see all these 4-day work weeks that are working, right? They're more productive. Their bottom line is increased. It's been transformative for culture. And we have to value families, because here's the thing, Annie, even if let's say any of your listeners, they don't have children, okay? And to each his own. We don't, not everyone needs to have kids, okay? My brother's 50 and single, has no interest in having children. But we do need to value families, because if we make it more difficult to have kids, we'll have fewer kids. Fewer kids now affect your labor market.
Yes.
The labor market becomes, you know what? The labor market shrinks, and then that means economic crisis. So it's worth it. It's good for our country and our economy to invest in families, even if you don't have families. And, you know, like, again, they're our future, or they're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're the greatest natural resource, or they're not, even if they're not your own.
Yeah.
Look, I don't like a lot of kids but my own. I didn't like kids before I had my own. Can we just be honest, please? Kids can be really
I'm the opposite.
annoying.
I love everybody's kids. I can't be around kids enough. They're
you are
so fun.
such a great auntie.
But I think it's really important to let our friends, the people who are non-moms listening, there is a lot of grace and forgiveness if your first response isn't, I want to do everything I can to make sure that everybody else has the schedule they need. But come to that pretty quickly. I mean, that is the spiritual journey. That is the redemption of the whole thing, is you go, so what actually matters most? And we have to, I mean, we're talking about that here, about when people are in the office, and we're talking about that, about what my schedule looks like, of like, how do we make sure we're prioritizing everybody's whole life?
Absolutely. And then the surplus workload doesn't fall on the person who doesn't have children, because that's not fair either. So that's why you have to create a culture where you value the whole person.
And every person here, I want them to work here for 20 years, or I would not have hired them. Every single person on all three of our staffs, I hope they're here until we quit. The whole thing in 50 years or whatever. So I've got to build right now what matters for them, that they go, man, this is the place. There's like 3 or 4 Broadway shows that parents love getting cast in because of how it helps them treat their families.
Really?
And I'm like, I want to be a company like that, where people go, man, my infant or my teenager, our family is thriving because of where I spend my work day.
Oh, that's so
good.
good.
And so even when I have frustrations, and you do too, even when I have these moments, I go, no, it doesn't. I understand you don't like being slowed down, Annie. That's an Annie problem.
Yeah.
The actual
I get
solution is you care more about the whole life of the people that are working with you.
It's so good. And look, again, this isn't a case against anybody. I'm just I'm trying to make a case for working moms because we're marginalized, because we're paid 70 cents on the dollar, because there's a thing called the mom penalty. Once we become mothers, we're penalized, we're paid less, we're passed over on promotions, and get this, we are deemed less viable leaders. So we can grow a baby in our heart and tummy.
Right.
We can negotiate like a baddie, but we can't run a meeting on budget cuts. I mean, come on, that's just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Especially when before the baby you could do all that, and now the baby you can't. That doesn't make sense.
And so, like, for the younger generation, women. Okay, there's women out there that don't want kids. That's amazing. Okay, but for the women that are like, do I want kids? I mean, I don't know. It's going to impact my career. I get it. Like, you see the reality, and you're like, I don't want that.
Well, it's also
I don't
like,
want to be treated like a liability.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't want to be paid less.
Right. But also, I love kids, and the idea of being a mom is a dream, right? So you have to hold, so many of your friends like me that you have in your life that are not married yet are holding both of those things of, I have a thriving career and life, and my time is used. And also, there's an opportunity to raise the next generation in my home. And what do you do?
Yeah, and you're such a beautiful mother in so many regards to so many women. And I have, like, you are a good mom. And yes, the babies didn't grow in your belly, right? But there's so many babies and children that grew in your heart. But like, being a working mom should work. I in the book, I talk about Dolly Parton, and she's like, I wouldn't change anything. But she talks about, she talked in this interview about how things wouldn't have been the same if she would have had kids. She's like, I probably wouldn't have been the star that I was. And it's just this notion of we can't have a career and kids, and the society makes us choose between both. But what I'm saying is, like, the reality is, like, we bring so much to the table. Motherhood should be celebrated instead of scrutinized. And we are incredible leaders once we become moms. We shouldn't have to make that choice. And guess what? The majority of moms out there, don't have a choice but to
Yeah,
work. And
that's right.
globally,
Yeah.
you want to talk about privilege, like they don't even have the option to stay
Yes.
home.
Yes.
They take a great amount of pride, but they have infrastructure, they have interdependence, they have family members that live with them, they have societal structure, community support. It's not your kid, your problem. It's I'm my brother's
Yeah.
keeper, even if I don't have
Yeah.
like you, Annie. We need the community to come together, even if they're not your biological children,
Yeah.
to come together and say, I'm going to invest in these
Yeah.
kids
Village
because they
life.
are our
Yep.
future. And guess what? I want to help be a part of raising them into kind, respectful human beings.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's a collective responsibility, and they're going to be part of the labor market.
Yeah,
Everybody's
that's
going to benefit or not benefit from the kids.
Yeah,
So,
that's right.
you
You write about this in the book, but will you talk a little bit about single moms? Because the book title, You Don't Have to Carry It All. I mean, literally, our single mom friends, they
Yeah.
do carry it all in their home.
Oh yeah, they're juggling everything. We have
Yeah.
the largest number of children living in single parent homes here in America. And look, the book, my
The
co-writer
largest of
is
what? Of globally or in the
Globally.
history of
Globally.
the... Okay.
globally.
Wow.
My co-writer, Holly Crawshaw,
Yeah.
she is a single mom of 3. My publisher is a single mom. My editor is a single
Wow.
mom. So many of the moms I'm quoting are single moms.
Yeah.
And look, they don't have it. I have all the respect in the world for single mothers. And I think our
too.
society, the church needs to step up for single moms, but our
Yeah.
society needs to step up for single moms too. And there's so much more that can be done. And again, largest numbers, I think, ever here in America of children living in single parent homes. So how
Yeah.
can we best support those single moms? Because we can't carry it all. We need to ask for help. We need community. We need friends that can come in and not make us feel like a burden when we ask for a favor. I've had to learn that the hard way because we've been conditioned to not ask for help because we
Yeah.
think it's weakness or failure. But no,
Or that the other person's so busy. That's it. I mean,
Yes.
I can't ask for help.
Exactly.
Everyone's as busy as I am. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's a change. Okay, we can wait for culture to catch up to us. We can wait for the policymakers to finally value families.
Yeah.
But what we can do, the change can start with us when we say, I'm not going to carry it all anymore. I'm going to be the help to somebody else.
Yeah.
So like I had to go away for a work trip for 2 days. I asked 6 people to help out with my kids. And
Yes.
a year or two ago, I wouldn't have asked because I'd be like, no, I just need to figure it out. That's my problem.
Wow.
I'm like, no,
Wow.
I need your help. But I am quick to say, let me pick up your kid. I want to create a community and a tribe. And these aren't my family members. These are my friends that
Yeah.
have become my family. I want to create this interdependence upon one another where we
Yes.
are helping to carry one another's burdens and where we give ourselves the permission to drop balls every single day. My friend said, drop the plastic ones, keep the glass ones in the air. And what that did, 2 things. It said, I'm going to drop the perfectionism because I go every day, I'm going to drop balls.
Yeah.
But the ones I'm going to drop are the plastic ones. It helps me prioritize that I'm going to keep the glass ones in the air so they don't shatter. And I'm going to just let those other plastic. And that's okay. I give
Yeah.
myself grace.
Yes.
I'm not perfect.
Yeah,
None of us
that's
is
right.
perfect. We can't do it all. We can't wear
Right.
the mom martyr or just the martyr badge of honor. Just put it away and ask
Let's
for help.
talk about a few different categories. Tell me what bosses, tell me what I can do to make my work environment better
Yeah.
for moms.
Yeah. And I think thank you for this question. So what this book does for working moms, it gives them a tool book. It's a hug and a sword to
Yeah.
show you a better way forward for momming
Hug
and working.
and a sword. That's
Do you like that?
good.
Should I use that on the book tour?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say that. Okay. I used it here first.
Yes.
Okay, and there's another chapter about how men can help and join the conversation. And then an entire chapter about what corporate America can do.
Yes.
And I lay out 4 of the main ways that companies can help. And then I give you a ton of ideas of how other small companies like yourself
Yeah.
have gotten really creative because you can't afford to give all of your employees 6 to 9 months family leave, right? So, one of the biggest things is offer a flex schedule and a hybrid location. And that
Yeah.
doesn't really cost anything. And you'll find that,
I mean,
Annie,
it does cost something. Let's talk about it for a second because I'm paying
Okay.
rent for an office.
Okay, but that's true. But
so to hybrid and no one be here, it's hard for me.
Okay, but you're not paying extra for it, right?
No.
It's the same cost. That's what I'm saying. But you're getting a happier employee,
Yeah.
an employee who's probably more productive,
Yeah.
an employee that's not going to leave. And employee and retention, you're going to have the retention there. So you're actually coming up on the upside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So flex schedule is one thing. Hybrid locations, we've seen 4-day work weeks or maybe like Fridays in the summer.
Yeah.
Ask your employees what they want. Another thing, a childcare stipend. We get $500 in this country for a tax credit, which is like a slap in the face. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Other countries are giving upwards of $20,000. Again, kids are our greatest natural resource.
Explain that. How do you get that stipend? The government just hands you $500
It's a tax credit.
Okay.
No, it's a tax credit. You just write off your kids.
Got it. Great.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I know they're good.
Things,
they're good for something.
Things I
finally,
haven't ever
right?
had to do.
No, but like
I've
you
never
say,
had to learn.
If you told your employees, I'm going to give you a $2,000 or $3,000 childcare stipend every year, that is huge.
Okay.
Again, productive employee, happy employee that doesn't leave, employee that feels incredibly loyal to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Something else that you can do is leaders. I think this is the most important step. Leaders have to walk the walk. They can't just talk the talk. So like if the leaders, like I have a paternity leave policy, like Twitter's former CEO, I think they offered like 6 to 8 weeks of paternity leave. He took 1 or 2 weeks. You need to walk the walk and also help negotiate, know what your policies are, what the policies are that are going to benefit culture, that are going to benefit your employees, and then live those out. It's so important because you set the tone. Annie, how you respond to one of your employees getting pregnant is going to set the tone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you have to throw her a baby shower, but how you
We do.
just
we
know.
do throw showers. Just
Okay,
so
you do
know.
throw showers, but know that employee, like scientifically, she's actually growing in capacity and she's growing in empathy.
Yeah.
So value that. So like how you react to certain things is going to go a long way. I think we need more moms at the decision-making table.
Yeah.
More women at the decision-making table. We know that women-led companies are typically more profitable. Employees overwhelmingly would rather work for women-led companies, yet we're not represented. I think we bring an interesting and unique vision and leadership. I think that's how we change. There's a lot of little things you can do. One friend of mine, he's a CEO of a smaller company. He helps to pay for the summer camps of the children of his employees.
Yeah.
He also pays for house cleaning.
Yeah.
So like once a month, he's like, I'm not going to give you a stipend because I know you'll go spend it on kids or groceries. You pick out who you want to clean your house, and I'll reimburse you for it.
Oh my
which is
gosh.
genius. Yes, there's little things you can do. So
I'm
I have
writing
an
that down.
entire
That's such
chapter.
a fun, like one time, like in September,
Yes.
I'm getting
Yes.
everybody's house cleaned.
Yes, don't give them a stipend.
Yeah.
Say pick it out,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Or you can get them Theta Sigma Phi sweatshirts.
Everybody. Well, everybody's getting those. Those are going to be on the website before this is out. No.
But the thing is, Annie, what companies have to remember, big and small, if you don't start taking, like this next generation that's coming up is going to comprise, Gen Z and millennials are going to make up 75% of the labor market by 2025. They want something different.
Yeah.
And if you're not offering them work-life cohesiveness, I don't even like to use that word balance
That's
because
good.
it
Yeah,
doesn't
balance
exist.
is a joke. Yeah.
No, rhythms, they're going to look elsewhere.
Yeah.
So you're either you need to create it, but know that when you do it, you're actually going to come up on the upside because you're getting a productive employee, one that's really, really loyal and one that just gets the job done.
Yeah. Yeah.
And appreciates you.
Yeah,
And it'll
it's
run through a wall for you.
I see it so much in some of the companies my friends lead of watching how well they treat everyone, whether it is someone, I mean, because the other thing we have to be thoughtful of is age. Right?
Yes.
Like people that are older are having less opportunities as well, which
Totally.
is not fair because they know the most. They know the actual most. And so why are they not in all of our companies still? And so just being really thoughtful. So I loved that chapter too. I just like you're very practical and like, this is just
Thank you.
something we can fix. Here we go. Let's fix it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't like this isn't gloom and doom. This is the better way forward. How companies you can find a better way forward, how moms can find a better way forward, how we as a society. Like, I give you tools to help find a better way forward.
That sounds fun.
Hey friends, just interrupting this conversation one last time to share about one of our amazing partners, Crew. You know this, but it truly can't be overstated just how much God's word has changed my life. I know that's true for so many of our friends listening. Y'all take a second and think about if you didn't have access to a Bible or you weren't even allowed to have one. That is a reality that many people around the world are facing today. Sharing that hope and peace with others is something that is close to my heart, and that is why I love sharing about one of our partners, Crew. Crew works in almost every country on earth, and they are seeing people come to know Jesus through their work. Crew works in almost every country on earth, and they're seeing people come to know Jesus through their work. And one thing the people they serve are missing is a Bible in their own language. So many of you signed up to support Crew, and we're so thankful to you for doing that, friends. But as one of their missionaries said, we found so many people reading their Bibles. Please continue to pray for us. We need more Bibles to distribute. Y'all, we can do that. Let's meet that need. For only $25 a month, you can provide 3 people with Bibles each and every month. When you sign up to provide 3 Bibles with a monthly gift of $25, you'll also be partnering with Crew to provide meals to 15 hungry individuals through their humanitarian aid ministry. Plus, as a thank you, you'll receive a free copy of my book, Chase the Fun. Simply text CHASE to 71326 to help today. Imagine just how much this gift could change someone's life. So text CHASE to 71326. That's CHASE to 71326 to help now, or visit give.crew.org/chase. Message and data rates may apply. Available to U.S. addresses only. And now back to finish up our conversation with Paula.
That sounds fun.
So today, you've given me a couple of things I can do right now as a boss. So any of our friends who are employing anyone have some ideas of what they can do. What does the mom need to do for herself today?
Yeah, I think, well, I want the mom to know her worth and to advocate for it, I think is really important. But we've been told what we are. There's the perception of motherhood and there's actually the reality. I have an entire chapter dedicated to scientifically and physiologically what motherhood and parenthood, how it increases your capabilities. So I want it to be a very empowering, again, tools. You know, it's a hug and a sword. Know your worth. You're going to know your worth. You're going to know your value.
Yeah.
You're going to know that you need to be celebrated instead of scrutinized.
Yeah.
Know your value. And then I'm going to show you how to advocate for it through the book. And I know that can be uncomfortable, but I think a big part of the advocacy angle, the next thing is to bring up the next generation alongside of us. It's not enough just to know our worth and to advocate for it. I need to bring up the next generation of women alongside. I need to sponsor them. Who can I pull up to the table next to me? That's one of the most important pieces, because we can know what our value is and we can advocate for it, but we need to advocate for that next generation and be responsible to him. You know, who much is given, much is expected. Said, is that Spider-Man?
Yeah, sure.
No,
or
Spider-Man.
Jesus, either one.
No, that was Jesus. Sorry, I got Jesus and Spider-Man. Wow, that was so blasphemous. To him who much is given, much is expected. But Spider-Man said, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, either one. It's one of them's quoting the other. We'll figure out who's quoting who.
I am going to get struck dead any second.
No, you
sorry,
are not.
God.
No, you are not. I think that's so good, Paula, because that's, I mean, one of the things we get to do is when we bring younger moms up next to us, or when we bring other women up next to us.
Younger women, yes.
Yeah, when we bring younger women up, then we get to say to them, oh, you just got married, you're allowed to take some days off for oh, you're pregnant? Let's talk about what, like, we get to model with them what healthy work-life integration looks like.
So good. That's so good.
That's hard, man. I mean, as a professional who owns 2 companies, it is hard for me to do this well, Paula. I'm trying, but it is hard.
No, and it is. I'm an entrepreneur myself, an entrepreneur and founder, and I have 3 employees that are on my roster. One of them's getting ready to go on maternity leave. So this is like, for me, I got to walk the walk, not just talk it. I got to put my money where my mouth is.
I know.
It's a lot easier said than done. And that's just the reality of it. But we have to, like, your big takeaway is this isn't just the right thing to do. It is good for your company's bottom line. It is so good for your company's bottom line to value.
You want thriving people. You want their lives. Because that's, I mean, the word we're using this year around here so much is flourishing. If our lives are not flourishing, then something is wrong in our work environment. And so that means I hope people get pregnant this year. I hope people get married this year. That means that our lives are flourishing. And that is okay if that stacks in my brain with some of my own fears and insecurities about getting our work done.
And can I just say, I appreciate that. I appreciate that you verbalized that, because that was vulnerability. And that's really hard to say. It's hard to admit. It's hard to put out there as a leader, because you want to be seen as an inclusive leader. And it's tough to put that out there. But the thing is like, I even say employers aren't explicitly saying it, but they're feeling it. You're feeling it, right?
Yeah.
And so it's going to take some time, but I guarantee you it's going to be really good for your bottom line and good for your people.
Yeah.
So
it has been. I mean, the little babies that run around here, we love them. Oh, we have 5 moms. I said 4. We have 5 moms. I forgot.
You know what? And there's a company in Greenville. It's called Brains on Fire, and like they can't afford long family leave, but what they do offer is for the moms on their roster, when they're coming back from maternity leave, they say you can bring your babies to work until they're mobile. And what that does is it like helps that transit. It is the toughest thing to do in the world, to come back from maternity leave and leave your baby with somebody. So it's like, bring the babies to work, and then the entire office is invested in that.
We all love
They're
it.
invested in that baby. Yep.
We have two littles that have come and eat lunch with us, or there's days where the babysitter falls through, or the nanny falls through, or the school hasn't gone back to school yet, and we've got a 2-year-old that runs around sometimes. I mean, but we all love it. Doesn't bother us at all.
They're all looking to see how you're going to respond to that, because you set the tone for the organization. You know, you set the tone for your company. Yeah. So, and you've got such a good heart, and I appreciate you. But one thing
I have a lot of good people around me.
I don't know if you were going to mention it earlier, and I feel like maybe it was on the tip of your tongue, but we're friends, but that doesn't mean we have to agree on like, you can read this book and you're like, Paul, I disagree with you on that. And we can still be friends.
I did not disagree with you when I read the book.
But I'm just saying, like, one thing I value about us, and right at the beginning, you called me out and you're like, no, you're not, that you weren't at the height of your career. You can call me out, but we can also agree to disagree on things. We were never meant to agree on every single thing. Yeah. And I appreciate about you and our friend group is like, we have some different ideologies, right? Yeah. We all love Jesus, okay? So that is our common denominator. Yeah. But we do have a couple of different ideologies, and that's okay. We don't have to, it doesn't have to all line up to still love and respect one another. Yeah. Okay? So that's one thing I appreciate about you.
I love that
friendship.
About you too. Even
when I quote Spider-Man instead of Jesus, even when I mix them up, you still love me.
Our biggest area where we are two paths that diverge in the wood is Georgia and Michigan. Mm-hmm. So we can both cheer deeply for our teams.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
And still remain friends.
No.
Paula.
No. Did you really have to go? No, I'm kidding.
I brought up one thing that we disagree on.
Yes,
I do love Michigan when we're not playing you. I'm very pro Michigan.
We don't disagree. We both love football.
Yeah, we
both love our teams,
that
right?
Is true.
We can both cheer for our team. I don't know if they'll ever meet again. So.
I hope so.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Paula, the last question we always ask, because the show is called That Sounds Fun, what sounds fun to you?
A nap.
I bet. It'll help your voice. I told you this morning when we were texting, the number one thing for your voice is sleep.
No, rest or sleep? Like resting my vocal cords? Or sleep?
All the way
the
asleep.
whole body?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
My coach says I'm like, my goal is laying down for 8 hours a night.
Oh, wow. Is that difficult for you?
Yes. I want to go. If sleep was a switch we could turn on and off, that is what I would do to maximize my time. And it's the worst.
It's a necessary evil for you, right?
Yeah. So I like it. I think it's very fun. I enjoy the feeling of sleeping, but I wish I only needed like 3. I wish I was a power charge, like a Tesla.
Yes. I'm going to actually go take a nap before I have back-to-back pickups.
Oh, yeah. Pickups. Yes. That's what you get to do now, a nap. Mm-hmm. Are you a nap in your bed or nap on your couch?
Nap on the couch. Yeah. I can never nap on my bed.
If I nap on my bed, I'm done for the day. Don't you?
Really?
You're not going to get anything else from me.
You're done.
Yeah, I'm just a
done
sloth for the rest of the day. It feels like, it doesn't work for me. So a couch nap, though.
We got these couches. They're from Pottery Barn called the Comfort Couch.
Uh-huh.
I think 96.7% of the time, if I've been sitting on it for more than 30 minutes, I fall asleep.
Good. I have a blanket like that if it goes over me, I'm like, it's like it's practically a weighted blanket. I'm like, well, I'm out. I'm out, everyone. I wish you the best until I wake up.
Annie's got a blankie.
I do.
love it.
My little blankie on my couch makes me snoozy. Oh, Paula, I can't wait for
I
people
love
to get this
you.
book this week. You don't have to carry it all. I love you too. Thank you for going into this.
Thank you.
I mean,
Oh,
I
I appreciate it.
you being the kind of friend that we can really talk about this and help me be the best friend and leader and boss I can be to all my employees, particularly though the moms. So I love you. I'm so grateful.
Thank you. That's what good friendships do. Iron sharpens iron.
That's
We
it.
call each other out. We bring out the best in one another, right?
That's right. That's right.
And we
Thanks,
go to
friend.
dinner together when I come into town.
That's exactly right. I
Right?
cannot wait.
Okay.
Soon.
Okay. Just making sure. I know. Love you, girl.
Love you too. Oh, friends, don't you love her? Okay, be sure you pick up a copy of You Don't Have to Carry It All and follow Paula on social media so you can tell her thanks for being on the show today. So, okay, we heard what sounds fun to Paula, and now we get to hear what sounds fun to one of our friends who's listening, just like you. All right, Beth, because the show is called That Sounds Fun, tell me what sounds fun to you.
Hi, Annie. I'm Beth from Havelock, North Carolina. And what sounds fun to me is I am a hospitality ministry director
yeah.
for our church. And that just kind of permeates everything that we do.
Yeah.
And my husband and I love to have people in our home. And we love to cook for them. And so I think my one thing I want to do this year for my birthday is to have all of my favorite people in the room and just prepare a meal for them and love on them with food.
Oh, okay. So what is your thing? What are you known for cooking?
Well, because we're on the coast, we can fish for a lot of
Yeah.
our food, so we usually pull a shrimp trawl in the summertime and put up shrimp. So we'd like to do like shrimp and grits or
Yes.
soft crabs. I don't know if you've ever had a
Yes.
fried soft crab before,
Oh,
but
fried
that's like one
soft
of our-
crab. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
That's
It is
awesome. Okay, so do
unbelievable.
y'all do, what's it called? Low country boil. Do y'all do where you like
Yes.
lay it on the table?
Yes, we do. And we even do hard crabs. So our favorite over a low country bowl would be about May. We will put our crab pots in the water and pull the crab pots up and steam hard crabs. So like Maryland style, a lot of
Yeah.
people, but my father-in-law and husband are great and they go ahead and peel the backs off of them. So you
Yes.
don't have to, you can just crack open and eat the meat.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, brilliant.
So-
Okay, well, listen, when's your birthday? We're all coming.
It's in March.
Okay, well,
Right
get
around
ready.
the corner. You are more than welcome.
People are gonna
Our
show
door is
up.
always open. Our door is always open.
Oh, Beth, thank you
So-
so much for doing this. That is such
Not
a fun
a
answer.
problem.
Oh, what a good answer. Okay, if you need anything else from me, I'm embarrassingly easy to find. Annie F. Downs on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the places you may need me. That's how you can find me. And I think that's it today, friends. Go out or stay home and do something that sounds fun to you, and I will do the same. Today, what sounds fun to me is Mexican food for dinner. Oh, I love a burrito. I'm very excited about it. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you back here on Thursday with my girl, Lauren Daigle. She is one of our faves. We're so happy to have her back. We'll see y'all then.